Aretha Franklin doused her food in sauce and devoured it. Then the gypsy found a hair in her meal and promptly wrapped it around her abrasive finger. "I am the sandpaper woman," she cried, before letting burst forth an epic fart. Garden gnomes should not eat mustard, and drag queens should not buy mustard in bulk. It was unholy amongst their land of divine condiments, but sacrilege was the sauce du jour. But I never saw him covered in it like he dreamed. He was damned, ugly, and horny. It's not like he could shave a ridiculous patch into his hair and move to Italy where wet dreams of repentance and an ample mustache could be achieved. He wanted only for Magdalena, the most beautiful mermaid in all the land, to be caught and cooked up for his favorite dish. For dessert, he thought it would be nice to have caramelized ostrich egg with a hint of mint. But then I snapped out of my stupid obsession with cooked potential life and realized that I must initiate the dance of my ancestors and country, once forgotten by the royal family. I clutched the Lionel Richie record to my chest for the last time and fell into the snake pit. I'll read this one too. Cats and owls screaming awkwardly, sensually and vividly into the gaping ocean. It lapped and spat and licked the supple legs of putrefying virgins, their penises hard and unexperienced. They were excited and confused and ready. Huge explosions radiated from the giant clam of joyous love. From its jaws sprung pearl projectiles. This is a bad day to be MC Hammer. Or reminiscent of neon eyeshadow and masculine silhouettes, but also representative of sneer brown pantyhose and poorly cut cocaine. The drug addict's Girl Scout waited for the door to open and said, "Buy some cookies and I'll do anything you want." He came forward and said, "They better not have nuts." I think I may have been allergic in another life. All I ever wanted was to enjoy the taste of gutter water again, when he began to seize a pistol from the nightstand and placed it to his temple with every intention of bringing forth the end. Floated glittering droplets of divine tapeworm smeared across the paper. Someone let out a sigh, and the entire palace fell dark and everyone was sad. It was an eternal sadness similar to hunger in kittens with profound retardation. It felt like God was crying, crashing tears from above, like hot boiling urine. My houseplants. I like to eat my neighbor's houseplants when they make me uncomfortable, she said tartly. That's when I moved toward her and extended my third nipple. And she said, "I've never seen one like that. All soft and wet, delicate. It even seems to smile at me through the thick black bristles." I touched its erect stamen and back my... I touched its erect stamen and back my supple naked ass into its tingling petals. It feels like God won't mind if we cross-pollinate. Maybe God did mind, but he would only watch. Similar to cockroaches in an infested hellhole eating briskly on some glob of tortilla or crumb of duck sauce, while a warm hand uses a butter knife to squash a shiny egg capsule that was carelessly deposited on the counter. I stuffed another piece of microwave fudge-soaked red velvet cake into my wet mouth, then let it dribble down my chest. It stained my nipples orange. I didn't want it to ever stop, and somehow I knew she had not been taking her medication for her diphtheria or her medication for her hypochondria. In fact, she wasn't taking any medication and never had a prescription. In actuality, she was a ghost. She was but a ghost of the infamous suburban wet dream. She went unnoticed, but her lawn was always the most pristine. It was a fucking beautiful lawn. Cats love to crap on its opulence. Meow, take that. It explains our feelings. Meow.
But with that, I dropped to my knees and wept tears of blood. Shamefully, I sputtered, how could I not have seen it before? And with that, I pissed myself, then pissed all over everyone I loved. I was now their God. I no longer needed them. The Virgin Mary had entered me, and she wanted to watch TV until my body decayed. But having foreseen this, I had neglected to pay the cable bill. It's true. She let out a cry and reached for the remote and beat me over the head with it repeatedly, and I said, thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad, for all the trials and stories that built me up and gave me character. The end.
Eris's puked and smiled like a cat in heat. Nasty, sandy, weeping orifice, torn by Barbie dolls with glistening tears. They laughed at the size. It was insignificant in comparison. She was never happy, always sick with fervor on my ass. Ugh! Why, Daddy?
You don't want.
Dark and dripping lovebird, sentiments kept floating around like silken spank rags, stiff with stinging pain of slow pus-laden blisters on her fat fucking poodle dick. Came so easily to end up licking their hard cocks. Didn't interest God or baby crocodile, just die.
Scared children's pet hamsters with singed eyelashes clung to the grass. Was bitter? You left me wet with vodka and gem-encrusted scaffolds, cut eyelids on top, teetering like blubber on rubber on the door, swung naked across the universe, closing in on souls.